Hello and welcome to the awesome TV show with Nikhil Taneja. I'm Nikhil Taneja, firstborn of the house Taneja, lord of this show and warden of awesome television. And this week, of course, I'll be reviewing Game of Thrones, the season 7 premiere and episode 2. Guess what's back? Back again. Yes, of course, it's me and this show, but also Game of Thrones, which is completely and utterly awesome, but so is this show. But Game of Thrones, guys, I'm giddy with excitement. We're already down 2 episodes and there are just 12 episodes left in the rest of this show. So shit's already been going down in the first couple of episodes. To be honest, I love the Game of Thrones premiere because how can you not love any Game of Thrones episodes, because you're not anti-national, are you? But I wouldn't say I was completely satisfied with it because it felt kind of like a refresher's course of the entire last season. Like the White Walker army is still marching, Cersei is still plotting, Arya is still killing off people of her kill list. She's pulling off a Faisal from Gangs of Wasseypur. Baap ka, maa ka, bhai ka, sabka badla le rahi hai Arya. And in the middle of all of this, there's an Ed Sheeran cameo. For fuck's sake, let's get it moving. There's only 13 episodes left in the entire show. But this Monday's episode had everything that the premiere didn't. There was conflict, there were reunions, decisions were taken, things moved forward, there was sex, violence and a battle. It was like a fulfilling meal and I must say I burped a bunch of times. I can't wait for the rest of the delicious season, but here are my top 5 takeaways from the first couple of episodes. Yes, the episode ahead is dark and full of spoilers, so spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the first couple of episodes of Game of Thrones, do not watch ahead. Number 1. Arya Stark's not a nobody anymore. If there's one thing that got me chuffed and a little bit emotional after the first couple of episodes was how Arya Stark, who was so determined to go through with her very violent bucket list, changed into human pretty much immediately after she found out that her brother's alive and he's the king of the north. Maisie Williams has always been a stunning actor, but it was something else watching that humanity in her return in that instant that she finds out that her family is well. She abandons all her plans and decides to go back to her family. Because clearly she's watched K3G as many times as I have. It's all about loving a family. That's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most this season, the Stark reunion. I really hope no more Starks have to die and Jon, Sansa, Arya and Bran get together and defeat the army of the dead and save Westeros. On a side note, I know a lot of people are confused about what Arya spoke to Nymeria when she said, "That's not you." There's more significance to that scene than you think. It goes back to season 1 when Ned Stark told his daughter that she's going to be married to a good king at some day and Arya said, "That's not me." So when Arya tells Nymeria, her direwolf, that that's not you, it's that she understands that the wolf has now chosen not to be domesticated and followed her own path, much like Arya, who's followed her own path through the show. Number 2. What the fuck happened with the Sandstones? At least Oberyn Martell died a hero of a worthy cause. But what purpose did that awesome introduction of the Sand Snakes serve in the larger scheme of things? They were killed off brutally in the second episode by Euron Greyjoy, and it seems that the only purpose that they served was a plot device to show how evil Euron is. Game of Thrones has of course used this trick several times before to show that a villain is actually really bad, whether it's Ramsay or it's Joffrey or it's Euron. They try and kill someone we like. But we don't really like the Sand Snakes because we don't know anything about them, because the show spent zero time in making us understand who they are or why they are important to the show. It was the worst kind of shock death that Game of Thrones is known for, and I hope that the next time they actually kill someone, it's someone that matters. Actually, why did I say that? I don't know. I don't want them to kill anyone else ever on this show. Everyone on the show at this point of time is completely awesome. Except, of course, Sir Jorah Mormont. Kill that pointless man already. His sole purpose on this show so far seems to be to get the audience to wonder, why is he not dead yet? Talking about this death, wasn't that an awesome battle? And it was in episode 2. Yes, we have seen a battle on the sea with Battle of Blackwater, but this was far more gruesome and far more violent than the other one. It's very clear that Euron Greyjoy is ready to take over the mantle that Ramsay Bolton left over last season. And it remains to be seen what sinister plans he has in store for Illyria Sand, his gift to Cersei. If you remember, Illyria had killed Cersei's daughter, and that's his gift to Cersei. At this point, I'm not completely sure how much Euron will matter in the larger scheme of things. I just hope he's not as pointless as the Sand Snakes. Number 3. The Sansa-Jon alliance. My biggest worry after seeing the premiere episode was the possibility of a Jon and Sansa rift. Sansa seemed fully determined not to let any man dictate her life, even if that man's her own brother. That worry was compounded in me and I think the rest of the internet when she channeled her inner Cersei. In fact, the internet pointed out that the hairstyle that Sansa had in that scene was reminiscent of a hairstyle that Cersei had in the first couple of seasons. But I'm so glad that Jon empowered his sister and left the north to her as he traveled to meet Daenerys. I'm still not entirely comfortable with Littlefinger being there, especially after the skirmish he had with Jon and him having mentioned explicitly that he loves Sansa as much as he loved Cat. I just really hope there are no more problems for the Starks because they have had enough Game of Thrones. Let them be now. Number 4. What's with those gross out visuals? Sam Tarly's entire storyline this season seems to be him being super intelligent and yet doing super gross things. In episode 1, we were subjected to a montage of poop, and in episode 2, we had to see in graphic detail as Sam takes out grayscale from Ser Jorah's body. I know what's happening in Game of Thrones. You don't need to explicitly show everything, unless it's nudity, of course. You don't. Although, good job on that transition from grayscale to food. I did not see that coming and I was completely grossed out. And number 5, the war between the living and the dead is finally getting consolidated. I love that as we move into the final leg of the show is consolidating all the warring factions and all the alliances are seemingly being formed. There's the Khaleesi, her dragons, Tyrion and that vast army that she has of the Dothraki and the Unsullied. There's Cersei and her dragon killing armor as we saw in episode 2. And of course, 3 kingdoms at most. Then there's Jon, the wildlings and the northern armies. And if the alliance between Daenerys and Jon actually does happen, then yes, first we will get to see a war between them and Cersei. But after that, we'll be primed for that big war that's been coming for 7 seasons. The war between the living and the undead. Winter's finally here and I can't wait to see where that goes. Although I'm extremely sad that Moon has joined the dead. He was so cute even though he was a giant. I miss him. Also, a few stray observations. Number 1, if I had to choose my queen, it wouldn't be Sansa, it wouldn't be Cersei, and it wouldn't be Daenerys. It would be Queen Lyanna Mormont. I think she's the most badass character on the show and I'd happily follow her into war. Number 2, episode 1 delivered one of the best burns of the show so far. I've got 1,000 chips and I've got 2 good hands. That was Euron Greyjoy's burn to Jaime Lannister. And episode 2 delivered the most cringeworthy line that I've heard in Game of Thrones all seasons. That's of course when Ellaria tells Yara a foreign invasion is underway as she goes to kiss her or do more things after that. Yuck. Number 3, can we please see more of that ek tarfa pyar between Brienne of Tarth and Tormund? Every time Tormund looks at her, it reminds me of that Kangna dialogue from Tanu Weds Manu 2. Abhi to hame aur zaleel hona hai. But I love it. Number 4, I hope the Khaleesi doesn't take Olenna too seriously and turn against Tyrion. Although knowing this show, that's exactly what's going to happen, isn't it? And finally, number 5. I just can't wait to see what happens when Jon and Daenerys come face to face. We've been waiting for these 2 leads of the show to come together. There are rumors that there might be an alliance of marriage between them, but they're family. But knowing this show again, anything goes. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Please leave your comments on what you think about the Game of Thrones first couple of episodes below. Cheers. If you loved Game of Thrones just as much as I did, then don't forget to subscribe to the Film Companion Reviews channel here. Check out all the other episodes of the awesome TV show here. There are about 30 of them. Leave your comments about what you thought of this episode below. And of course, don't forget to follow me on all social media channels on Taneja Main Hoon. Because Taneja Main Hoon mark idhar hai. Bye-bye.